The story. The story of Pygmalion and the Statue. Pygmalion, loathing their lascivious life, abhorred all womankind, but most a wife. So single chose to live and shunned to wed, well pleased to want a consort of his bed. Yet fearing idleness, the nurse of ill, and sculpture exercised his happy skill, and carved in ivory such a maid so fair, as nature could not with his art compare. Were she to work, but in her own defense, must take her pattern here and copy hence. Pleased with his idol, he commends, admires, adores, and last the thing adored, desires. A very virgin in her face is seen. She could have stirred, but strove with modesty, and was ashamed to move. Art hid with art, so well performed the cheat, it caught the carver in his own deceit. He knows 'tis madness, yet he must adore, and still the more he knows it, loves the more. The flesh, or what so seems, he touches oft, which feels so smooth, and he believes it soft. Fired with his thought, at once strained the breast, and on the lips a burning kiss impressed. 'Tis true, the hardened breast resists the gripe, and the cold lips return to kiss unripe. But when retiring back he looked again, to think it ivory was a thought too mean. So would believe she kissed, and courting more, again embraced her naked body over, and straining hard the statue, was afraid his hands had made a dent, and hurt his maid, explored her limb by limb, and feared to find so rude a gripe had left a livid mark behind. With flattery now he seeks her mind to move, and now with gifts, the powerful bribes of love, he furnishes her closet with rarities of shells, adds orient pearls which from conches he drew, and all the sparkling stones of various hue, and parrots imitating human tongue, and singing birds in silver cages hung, and every fragrant flower and odorous green were sorted well with lumps of amber laid between. Rich fashionable robes her person deck, pendants her ears, and pearls adorn her neck. Her tapered fingers too with rings are graced, and an embroidered zone surrounds her slender waist. Thus, like a queen arrayed, so richly dressed, beauteous she showed, but naked showed the best. Then from the floor he raised a royal bed, with coverings of a Sidonian purple spread. The solemn rites performed, he calls her bride, with blandishments invites her to his side, and as she were with vital sense possessed, her head did on plumy pillow rest. The feast of Venus came, a solemn day, to which the Cypriots do devotion pay. With gilded horns the milk-white heifers led, slaughtered before the sacred altars bled. Pygmalion offering first approached the shrine, and then he prayed, implored the powers divine. Almighty gods, if all we mortals want, if all we can require, be yours to grant, make this fair statue mine, he would have said, but changed his words for shame, and only prayed, give me the likeness of my ivory maid. The golden goddess present at the prayer, well knew he meant the inanimated fair, and gave the sign of granting his desire. For thrice in cheerful flames ascends the fire. The youth returning to his mistress hies, and impotent in hope with ardent eyes, and beating breast by the dear statue lies. He kisses her white lips, renews the bliss, and looks and thinks they redden at the kiss. He thought them warm before, nor longer stays, but next his hand on her hard bosom lays. Hard as it was beginning to relent, it seemed the breast beneath his fingers bent. He felt again his fingers made a print. 'Twas flesh, but flesh so firm, it rose against the dent. The pleasing task he fails not to renew. Soft and more soft at every touch it grew, like pliant wax when chasing hands reduce the former mass to form and frame for use. He would believe, but yet, still in pain, and tries his argument of sense again, presses the pulse and feels the leaping vein. Convinced, overjoyed, studied thanks and praise to her who had made the miracle he pays. Then lips to lips he joined, now freed from fear. At this the wakened image of her opened eyes, and viewed at once the light and lover with surprise. The goddess present at the mat she made, so blessed the bed, such fruitfulness conveyed. To crown their bliss, a lovely boy was born, Paphos his name, who grown to manhood, while the city Paphos from the founder called.